I recently picked up 3 very weird lures at a fishing expo. Are they any good? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. Hey everybody, what's going on? Brendan Miller here, back with another episode of Weird Fishing Lures, the show where we dive into the wacky, strange world of obscure fishing lures. Today, I have a treat for you because I actually have 3 different lures to feature in one video. So a while ago, one of my buddies invited me down to the National Fishing Expo in Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to you, Keith, for inviting me. It was a ton of fun. I had an absolute blast at the Fishing Expo. I even got to meet some fans of the channel, which was really awesome. Shout out to you guys that came up and said, hey. One of the cool things about this expo is that they had these vendors with these huge tables set up with all kinds of random fishing lures. And so I spent a great deal of time pawing through bins in search of some unique and weird baits. And I happened to find 3 of them. The first thing that caught my eye is this bait right here. This is called the Hustler, and this is a very unique looking crankbait. One of the main things that drew me to this bait is the actual shape of the bait. It's very unique. It's got a very flat design. Usually crankbaits have a lip that is offset a little bit like this. This one has a lip that protrudes straight out of the bait, and on the bottom it's almost completely flat. This is a very unique design. I have not really seen anything like this before. My guess is that this bait's gonna have a very deep diving, steep action in the water. It's a very cool little bait, all plastic construction with a nice little paint job on it. So I'm eager to see what this thing looks like when you put it in the water. The next bait that caught my eye while I was perusing around, searching through the bins, is this thing right here. This is a Jack's Dual Spinner. This is a fairly old lure. I don't have an exact date of when this was manufactured, but I am guessing maybe the 50s or the 60s just by the construction and the hook and some of that stuff. I could be wrong, but that's just my educated guess. This bait looks like a really weird combination of like a spinner bait and an eerie deary. The main body of the bait itself is made out of lead, and it's actually got a decent heft to it. Out the back, it has a hook with a feathered trailer, and then on top, this is where things get interesting. It's got these 2 little wires that protrude out of the top, and on each wire, there is a set of 2 blades on either side. This bait, again, has a really interesting profile in the water. I'm curious to see what this is going to look like once I put it in the water. Again, this was a truly bizarre bait. I've never really seen anything like this, and so I had to pick it up. The last bait I picked up is this thing right here. This is a bizarre looking little bait. Again, very unique style. I don't really know who manufactured this. I tried to do some searches online, couldn't find anything about this bait. So if you guys know anything about this bait, let me know down in the comments below. But this is the bait. It's a very simple construction. It has a basic wire frame like you would see on a spinner. It has a treble hook out the back. Then it has a brass cylinder in the center with 2 little propellers that come out the side. There's a cool little scale pattern on the back and 2 eyes painted on the front. But other than that, that's about it. This bait immediately struck me because it's very unique. It looks kind of like a weird take on a spinner because, as you can see, this cylinder actually spins in the center like this. So I'm very curious as to what this is going to look like when I put it in the water. So those are the baits that I picked up at the Fishing Expo, and I think without further ado, it's time to take these things out and take a look at what the action is like in the water and see how they fish. I want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Mattress. As a fisherman, one of the things I have to do is get up early on a regular basis because a lot of times the best fishing is early in the morning. And I tell you, it helps so much to get a good night of rest prior to a big fishing trip. And that's where the Mattress comes into play. Everybody has different preferences and sleep positions. To help find a mattress that's suitable for you, Bear has made a sleep quiz that will remove all the guesswork. This quiz is going to help you find the perfect mattress to suit your style of sleeping. For me personally, I sleep on my back, and Bear sent me out the Elite Hybrid mattress, and I have to say, this is by far the most comfortable mattress I have ever slept on in my entire life. I have noticed a huge improvement in the quality of sleep, and I frankly love this mattress. The Bear mattress also uses sleep recovery technology, which is a Celliant-powered fabric that will help keep you cool all throughout the night. Plus, Bear Mattress comes with a lifetime warranty with financing available, plus flexible payment plans, so a good night of sleep is never too far away. Bear Mattress also provides free shipping and ships right to your door. Go to bearmattress.com/Brendan and use the code Brendan right here to get 30% off your first mattress order. Again, thanks so much to Bear Mattress for sponsoring this video. Now back to the fishing lures. Okay, so starting off with the Hustler crankbait, when I put this bait in the water, I was a little underwhelmed, if I'm perfectly honest. The action of this bait is really odd. It's got a very weird pulsing action. I expected with such an aggressive lip on this bait that it was going to have a crazy side-to-side action. I was kind of underwhelmed by the action, in all honesty. This bait has a really odd pulsing kind of up and down movement. My guess is that this bait is designed for trolling. Again, I think the action is a little weird. However, I think this thing could catch fish in the right circumstances, but I'm just not really impressed. Moving on to this spinner bait thingamabob right here, the Jack Stool spinner. This bait actually has, surprisingly, a pretty cool action in the water. One thing I did notice is that it doesn't track totally straight, and if you sight the line tie right here, you can see it's actually bent. So if I took a pliers, I would be able to straighten that out, and this bait would track really good. This bait kind of reminds me of a spinner bait. One thing that I do like about it is the fact that it's very compact. A spinner bait usually has a little more spread to it with the blades being up high. I could see this kind of imitating maybe a small group of minnows scurrying through the water, and I think I could actually catch a fish with this. I think, in particular, a northern pike would bite this if given the right circumstances. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the action on this bait. Last but not least, this bait right here, the weird spinny spinner thing. This bait actually has a pretty cool action in the water. All right, so first initial thoughts with the little spinning lure right here. This thing's actually pretty cool. I'm shocked at how much vibration this thing puts off. You don't have to reel it very fast. It puts off a ton of vibration. It kind of reminds me of an inline spinner a little bit. Reel it at slow speeds and it still spins really good, and again, puts off a ton of vibration and flash. So far, I'm kind of impressed with this thing. Another really cool thing about this bait is that when you throw it out and let it sink, as it sinks, the blade actually spins like crazy and it kind of falls straight down. So that is very cool. It's early March in Ohio, which means that there still is cold weather aplenty and the water hasn't quite warmed up yet. And the day that I actually chose to test these lures out and trying to catch a fish with them was miserable. It was raining and snowing. So I started the day off fishing a small creek in search of some smallmouth bass. I was mainly throwing the little spinner thing because I thought that would fit the conditions the best. So from there I went and fished right below a spillway. There's a lot of water moving there and I've had success there in the past catching crappie. Again, I was throwing this little spinner thing in the current and I did hook into something. Well, so far I've caught a bird's nest of fishing line and junk. And at this point in the day, I was pretty discouraged. I was soaking wet. The weather was terrible, and I didn't think I was going to catch anything. All right, so this morning's fishing efforts were not good at all. So now I am trying a local pond here. I just got permission from the owner to fish it, so we'll give it a shot. It's like snowing right now and raining at the same time. It's just nasty weather, but we'll see if we can't catch something. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to lie, my hands are a little bit chilly right now. All right, guys, first fish of the day, even though it's kind of snowing and nasty. All right, guys, boom, right there, nice bass on the little spinner helicopter thing. Decent size, not huge, but not bad at all. Finally feels good to get a fish after being cold and soaked all day. Boom, check it out. Another little bass right there on the little spinner lure. They're definitely a little lethargic. It's kind of cold out. There we go. Got one. He thumped it pretty good too, actually. I didn't think anything was gonna hit this really weird looking spinner thing, but he actually thumped it, which I'm kind of shocked. There you go, another nice little bass, all about the same size, but hey, I'm happy to catch fish. It's like snowing out here. That was on the weird spinner looking thing. Crazy. So guys, there you go. As you saw from that footage, I was able to catch a couple bass. I caught 2 bass on the little spinner thing, and then I even caught a bass on this big jack stool spinner. I didn't think anything was going to hit this thing just because the weather was cold, and I didn't think the bass were going to be in the mood to bite something this big. I didn't fish with the Hustler crankbait much just because that requires deeper water, and I was fishing a lot of shallow stuff, so I didn't really break this thing out. And again, I wasn't super impressed with the action. So guys, there you go. That is a look at these 3 weird fishing lures that I picked up. Again, I love buying weird, wacky lures, testing them out, seeing what they're like. This kind of stuff really intrigues me, and hopefully it intrigues you. I got more episodes of this series planned. Hopefully, though, when the weather's a little warmer, I'm kind of sick of being cold and wet. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to support the channel, check out the links in the video description. Again, check out the sponsor for this video, Bear Mattress. They make an amazing product. You can find a link to that in the description as well. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay hooked. I'll see you later.